Hey guys, Ralph here. True Power Trumpet Fitness. Okay, the king, not me, Al Hirt. Let's get to it. Don't want to waste time. First notes of the day. All right. Why, you say? Why, you ask, am I playing licks from the Haydn Trumpet Concerto on a B-flat trumpet? Why? I'll tell you, because I think, in my opinion, that album that he did, Pops Go the Trumpet with the Boston Pops and Arthur Fiedler, may have been his finest hour. Okay, and we'll get to that. Al Hirt, I think, guys, the most underrated of the great trumpet players of all time. If not the most underrated, one of them. Okay? Now, first of all, I am not saying I got him in my top 5. You've all heard of my top 5: Maurice, Maynard, Harry, Horst Pfister, Mel Broyles, Doc. Right? Is that 5 or is that 6? I don't even know. The list gets bigger. And I don't believe he is in that group. I don't. But I'll tell you what, he's the next best thing, for sure. For sure. He is an absolute astounding talent. What a talent. Now, he did a little research, not a lot, a little research, and most of you probably know this. He was born in New Orleans and grew up with his beloved New Orleans Dixieland music, and that was his music of choice. He and his buddy Pete Fountain, at the age of 14, just started playing the club zone on Bourbon Street. And he was a legend before he got out of high school down in New Orleans. And I think that might have been the reason, one of the reasons that led to him being underrated. The style of music was not mainstream. Well, he forced it mainstream at a certain period of time. But I think, unlike leading the Tonight Show band, for 30 years and being on and that type of thing, it was not quite mainstream. Anyway, after high school, he went to the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music and studied with Dr. Frank Simon, who was I think he retired to the Cincinnati Symphony. It doesn't really matter. But was the former soloist for the Sousa Band. I mean, a great technical master and all that. And he really got some significant conservatory classical training to go with all his Dixieland and jazz acumen. He was there. Wogermuth was there, the great Wogermuth, and I'm going to do a video on him. Very, very underrated. I hadn't found anywhere that Al Hirt studied with him, but Wogermuth was with the Cincinnati Symphony, so I'm sure at least he heard him play. Anyway, neither here nor there. Then he went in, for a while, went into the Army bands, and if you know anything about the Army bands, those are some tight groups. And you have to be able to play. You don't have to be a virtuosi, but you do have to be able to play very clean and tight and precise, tight groups. Then he went out and started his career. Went back to New Orleans, the clubs, got his own band, that type of thing. His commercial zenith, if you will, came in the 60s. He had 2 top 10 albums. Honey in the Horn was one, and let's see, what was the other one? What was the other one? Honey in the Horn. Hang on, I got it right here. And Cotton Candy. Okay, he had a sweet tooth, I guess. Honey in the Horn and Cotton Candy, and they went to top 10 albums. I mean, and this is pretty much doing his thing with the Dixieland. Also, he did the soundtrack to the original Green Hornet with Bruce Lee. And it is very, very much in the style of Flight of the Bumblebee type of thing. And if you haven't heard it, check it out. It was about this time. Now, his chops were always very good. Always very good. And up to what I'm about to say, he had a good F or G. He was not a screamer. He was not Maynard Ferguson, never was, never had to be. But he had a good F or G. Now, it was about this time, and I don't know the exact date, but he was the Grand Marshal of the Mardi Gras Parade. And he was on the float, and he literally got hit in the mouth with a brick. Somebody threw a brick at him and hit him in the mouth. And after that time, he never got the G back, from what I can tell. I've listened to a lot of his stuff, and he never got the G back. But he still had quite a good range. His D to an E flat and E and everything were quite good. Quite good. And for my money, and if you know anybody else, comments and criticisms down below, he was the only one that I could tell that actually made that jet tone mouthpiece, the original jet tone mouthpiece, work. I know there was a couple of guys, but Doc Severinsen comes to mind. I don't think he sounded as good on it as Al Hirt did. Now, it didn't get very rich. There's no question. I like a little more richness in the tone, but it was centered. It was pure. The tonguing was clean as could be. It was in tune. I mean, he made that thing work. And when he had to, like I've said before, lay down your sword and dagger and caress the baby, he could play a really pretty ballad on that thing with nuances and control. He made that god-awful mouthpiece, and I've tried a couple times, couldn't do it. Made it work. Now, as I alluded to initially, he did a album called Pops Go the Trumpet with the Boston Pops and Arthur Fiedler. Okay? I think that was his finest hour, and I'll tell you why. Now, you guys are going to go listen to it, and you're going to say, well, the articulations aren't right, and the height. He played the Haydn Trumpet Concerto on a B-flat trumpet beautifully. He played La Virgen de la Macarena. He played Bugler's Holiday. He played a couple other things. Excellent. Excellent. And every one of you is going to go to that Haydn, and you're going to say, well, Maurice, I know Maurice on an E-flat trumpet can do better than, well, Wynton Marsalis. Now, Wynton Marsalis, his recordings of the Haydn are fabulous, but I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you, those are doctored up. Those are doctored up, they're reverb, they're taken over, they're plugged in, they're plugged out. This is one take. Listen for it. You listen for a clip. There's no clips. This is one take. Did he split a few notes? You bet. Okay? Were all of his articulations right by the book? No. But I tell you what, before you start condemning that, you think a jazz player, a Dixieland jazz player, think of another jazz player, Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, Clifford Brown. Can any one of them just put a screech on their career in the middle of a jazz career, pick up a B-flat trumpet and go play with the Boston Pops? I don't think so. Okay? So before you guys start to comment down below, well, I didn't like it, it was laughable. No, it wasn't. It was excellent. And I want to hear you guys go play that. Play that. The only one I came close, I heard Sandoval play with the Boston Pops, and he plays the Virgin of Margareta, and Al Hirt's was better. It was much cleaner. It was much centered. It wasn't as forced. Sandoval played higher notes, but it was not as good. This guy could play. Could play. After that, he retired, toured with his band, owned a club down in New Orleans called Al's Place, I believe it was. Hello, sweetheart.
Hi.
Going for a run?
Yep.
Run long, run far.
Okay.
Love you. Anyway, yeah, Al Hirt, Al the King Hirt, and I wish I knew him and knew what I knew now about fitness and stuff, because he was always overweight. I could have added another 10, 15 years to his career and his life for sure, just putting him on a decent diet. But that's neither here nor there. So, you young guys who know nothing about these players, go back and listen to Al Hirt, man. The guy could play. Case closed. Guy could play. My top 5? No. If somebody's out there and you want to put him in their top 5, let me know about it. Okay? But not even close. the next best thing. For sure, the next best thing. Al the King Hirt. Okay, guys, that's it. Eat your fruits and vegetables. If you're interested in losing weight, go to my other channel. We got a lot of good things going on over there. A lot of feedback and everything. So, yeah, that's that. Have a great day and go through your life with true power. Hey, guys, one more thing about Al Hirt. And you can get these on YouTube. Check them out. He has some of the greatest Star-Spangled Banners before football games ever done. Ever done. He doesn't go up. Once again, I'm not ranking on Sandoval. Sandoval's amazing. I'll do a video about him one. I'm not ranking on him. Sandoval's, he goes up to double C's. There's guys that do higher. But this guy's clean, musical, in tune, just beautiful, beautiful renditions of a Star-Spangled Banner. There's a handful of them on YouTube. Check them out. Okay, guys, we'll do this again.